Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Iga and this is my little space on the internet where I share my life in my 20s and just overall what I get up to. So welcome, it's good to have you here. Today I thought we could talk about kind of a year review. I know we are in July now, so we're over halfway through the year, and before you mention anything, I cannot believe it. Last time I checked, it was like the 2nd of Feb, okay? If you told me the 2nd of Feb was yesterday, I would have believed you. Everything's going too fast. This year has flown by so far and I just cannot keep up. But I thought in today's video we can do a review of kind of Q1 and 2. So I've done a list of everything I've accomplished. It kind of has a rough structure. I'm going to be talking about the goals I set myself at the beginning of the year, what I've been doing to upkeep with them, overall how my year has been going so far and what I've done. And at the end of the video, we're going to talk about some focuses for the next quarter / the next half of the year. So without further ado, let's go into the video. My main goal for 2024 has been to sort of be more intentional with the things I do, how I live my life, and just keep myself a little bit more accountable. There are a few things that help me upkeep with majority of the things that I've wanted to do. I've also wanted to do more things that make me happy and explore more hobbies, just to live a bit more interesting life but with purpose. It's not necessarily huge life stuff, but it's little things that kind of just bring a little bit of joy in my life. The main thing is, how have I been doing that? So the credit goes fully to one of my best friends, Millie. She told me how last year she had a Notion template where she set her resolutions and goals for each month and kind of did a monthly review to see where she was upkeeping with those goals, kind of what fallen, if it's still a priority, because let's be honest, we're only human, priorities change. And we kind of both inherited that into our joint friendship, and now once a month we do a monthly review together and we catch up, which is great because it gives you such a set date to just have a quick catch up with your friend, but also you're doing something productive for your life. I think it's important to give yourself grace when setting up stuff like that, because we're only human and sometimes life is just lifing and we sort of fall off, and that's okay, that happens, that is life. And the key is to not let it get you down forever and just focus on the things you have done that month / year / quarter, whichever one it is, and keep going and just do your best. That's the best we can do. Most of us will probably work a full-time job, so you know, it's realistic to sometimes just want to stare at the ceiling when you come back home. And I know that all too well. Going on from that, my focuses for this year sort of, they're a mix of things I want to be better at that I think will improve my life, things that are my hobbies and I wanted to focus on them, such as for example YouTube, and like a challenge. So those were my sort of resolutions. So the first thing I really wanted to focus on is setting up some good habits. So the 2 good habits that I really wanted to set up this year are cleaning and intentional movement. So these are the kind of things that I feel like would make my life better and healthier. Starting off with intentional movement, in January I joined the gym, and I'm not the only one, probably thousands of people did join the gym in January. But I've never been much of a gym rat and I still am not, but I really enjoyed my time at the gym, and I kind of got into a really good routine of going to the gym 2 to 3 times a week, / I try to aim for about 8 times a month, which is realistic. It's about 2 times a week. If I do more, great. If I do a little bit less, then probably I had a tough month. February wasn't so great, but January and March I did really well. In April I sort of had a break, April and May, due to finances, and I was quite fortunate enough that in June I was able to get my membership back, and honestly I never thought I would miss it as much as I did, but I feel so good when I go there. It's me time and I feel like I'm doing something good for my body, and even if it's hard, I get out of there and I'm like, do you know what, I did it, and just mentally it makes me feel better, and it's been nice. I am also currently doing like a joint movement challenge on Strava with some of my co-workers. We did a similar thing with running last year, but this year we're doing kind of hours of movement, and that has been a great motivator. I have to say, having people to kind of check in on your movement and stuff like that has been quite nice, because they really do keep you accountable. So I have actually been really enjoying intentional movement this year, which is incredible. I love how the sun comes out now. Thank you so much. Overall, I'm feeling very satisfied and happy with myself when it comes to movement. I really think I've been upkeeping with the goal that I set myself, and I'm just really proud of myself. And it's also important to me that I don't make it about like losing weight and stuff like that. It's simply movement because movement is healthy, and I think that took a lot of that mental pressure off of me, which has been nice. Now, cleaning is another story. Don't get me wrong, my house is quite clean. Between me and my husband, we do get it all done, and we do upkeep with the home, especially the living room and downstairs. But this was more for like deep cleaning, and whilst we do it, we could be better about it. We need to set some kind of schedule for it. I mean, I hate dusting. I could go on and write an essay from my heart about how deeply I hate dusting. I do regularly deep clean the kitchen because it requires it, and the bathroom because it's just gross otherwise, but our living room probably needs a really deep clean, and so does our bedroom. So those are my focuses for the next couple of weeks and ongoing in the year. I just know I can improve on that, but not all is lost. You know, the house is not a pigsty, but we can do better, and that's okay. The second category in my resolutions for this year has been hobbies. So the two that I mainly wanted to focus on are specifically streaming and YouTube. This one's been difficult. Both of those things are quite time consuming, and as I said, I do work a full-time job. That being said, I had a great start of the year when it came to streaming. I was absolutely smashing it up until about mid-April when I went traveling, and I did do a few streams in May, and then I kind of got too busy. I just think because it's so time consuming, I just need to be a bit more realistic with how much time I can dedicate to it, because I really loved my Saturday morning Disney Dreamlight Valley streams. Loved them. They were the most peaceful thing I've ever done, had the grandest of times, and then I had evenings to myself. And I think it's probably the most realistic for me to do like a once or twice a week, a weekend stream, probably focusing on like a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning, something cozy. I do only stream cozy games. It is more of a hobby and fun for me than anything else, so why am I putting so much pressure on myself? It's okay. I can still do it once a week or twice a week whenever I have time, and just enjoy the moment. I don't have to be all or nothing, and that's the thing I'm really learning doing this. It has been a very educational experience about the way I work. It's interesting, that's for sure. YouTube is another story. I adore editing, I adore filming. There is a reason why I've always come back to this, but I need to be a bit more intentional if I want this channel to grow. I need to get my ass in gear, basically, and I have not been doing that. I have Christmas vlogs from last year that I had not edited. They will be going out this year, don't you worry, I'm not wasting that, because I love having them on here. It's such a great memory thing, and because I haven't actually spent Christmas with my family in a few years, it's so nice to have just those Cass and I Christmases on here as a memory. But I've filmed so many videos that I just have not had the mental capacity to edit, and I just need to get over it. I just need to do it. I need to set a realistic schedule. I need to plan ahead of time, and it's doable. It's doable, and it's okay that I haven't been able to do both of them in tandem, both streaming and YouTube, but I just need to be a bit more intentional with it. I think I also just need to get over the fact that my videos won't be perfect. I had a goal of reaching at least 500 to 1,000 subs this year, and I have done absolutely nothing to achieve that. But not all is lost. It's only July. I still have a few good months to be able to turn this around. It literally sounds like I'm giving myself a pep talk. It's really quite funny. I'm aiming for, like I said, a video once a week. I have a few videos planned, but if you guys have any ideas, pop them down below. I'd love to hear them. I'm always here to explore new ideas and suggestions. And the last thing on my resolutions list was sort of half a hobby, half kind of a challenge, and that is reading. I have never been a reader until this year. I can confidently say that I've probably read about 10 books in the last 10 years. Total. And you know what? That's the way the cookie crumbled. I was busy. I didn't really find any books that really clearly sparked that joy in me until this year. With BookTok being so big, and in general people online recommending so many books and raving about so many books, I thought, you know what, 2024, I'm gonna challenge myself and I'm gonna read more, because it just sounds like a really nice, peaceful activity. I needed something a bit more mindful. I needed something that wasn't a screen. I needed something more peaceful. So for Christmas, I asked for a Kindle. I do just have a 2016 used Kindle from CEX, and it does the job perfectly. I was not willing to invest so much money in a Kindle. And can we just talk about, they're pricey. They're not cheap. And I get it, it's a piece of tech, it's good quality, people love them, but they're pricey. Like my second-hand one was about 40 quid. What? I got it and I was like, right, this is gonna be my year. And then January, February, March went by and I have done nothing. I set myself a realistic goal of 12 books this year. And I am counting audiobooks because that is also a form of reading. You're also consuming that book. Therefore, I am allowing that in my numbers. I don't want to hear it. The beginning of the year was a bit tough, but when we hit the second quarter of the year, I have finally decided to listen to everyone on the internet, including my friends, and pick up Akata. And that started a fire that my bank account could not handle and still cannot handle. I really want to do a video more about the books that I've been really loving and what got me into reading and stuff like that. You guys, there is just something that happens in the last like 100 pages of a Sarah J Maas book that just like changes everything in that book. When I tell you, I was gripped to that book. The ending was so worth it. And the second book, I consider the first book a necessary evil and a gateway drug into the second and more. The second book in that series changed my brain chemistry. When I tell you I was sitting at work breaks reading that shit, anywhere I went, I was like, I need to get my fix. I could not put it down. And that sparked something in me that no book ever has. And I've read some good books. I will say Daisy Jones and the Six is one of my favorite books. I love that book. I ate it in about 2 days, which for me at the time was fast. The passion that this series started in me was like nothing I've ever seen before. And I finished the whole series in the month of April alongside some other audiobooks and other books. In total, I read 8 books that month. And I am proud to say that with my goal of 12 books for the year, may I add, and we are in July, as of this moment, I have fully finished 21 books. Thank you. That is the most I've read ever, let alone in a space of like 3 months. To me, that is insane. I know this is rookie numbers for some people, but considering this was just like a little challenge that I've been doing, I am so proud of myself on that one. And I'm not saying that the things that I'm reading are some kind of literary masterpieces. They're not, but they're fun and I'm having a grand old time. And I wouldn't change it for the world. It's a great hobby to have when your husband's a gamer. He's out there on his headset, doing whatever he is doing, playing with his brother and his friends. And I am peacefully sitting in the bedroom with my cup of tea, my little snacky, and I am reading my little silly cowboy romances. And no one can take that away from me. And I'm having a grand old time. And in this economy, if I can escape on a holiday through my imagination, that's probably the best I can afford, let's be honest. I did want to mention some of my favorites that I've read so far. Obviously the Akatar series. The series is not complete. The second book in that series, like I said, magnificent, changed my brain chemistry. Third one, also very good. I do have a short on my channel where I'm talking about the whole series overall. The last book, also very good. Kind of a change of tone a little bit, but it's really good. Another series is a series that is a complete series, and it's very popular on TikTok right now. It's just Chestnut Spring series. So good. Again, something about a second book in a series just really does it, but that second book, yeehaw, because now I'm obsessed with cowboy romances. Thank you so much. Another book that I've actually just listened to on audiobook is 7 Year Slip. I listened to it in 1 day, earlier this week. In 1 day. Could not get enough. It was brilliant. My friend Millie again recommended that book and I really enjoyed it. There are very mixed opinions on TikToks. I had a grand old time. I highly recommend it. I also finally read, I have a physical copy of this book, but I actually listened to this because I had it on Audible, is Ready Player One. So different to the movie. I do love the movie. The movie is great. And it's okay because the book was great. And one more I really want to mention is Lessons in Chemistry. There are some trigger warnings in that one. I definitely check your trigger warnings with any book that you're going to be reading, you just never know. But that book was so good. Again, I listened to it on audiobook, so maybe I just really loved the narrator, because I think if you listen to an audiobook, a narrator can make or break a book. I really enjoyed it. It was such an interesting read. And yeah, I really had a good time. If you haven't read it yet, I definitely recommend that one. And if you've made it this far into the video, first of all, you're a real one and I really appreciate you. But if you're a book person, leave me your favorite book down in the comments, or recommend me a book that you think I'd like. Just looking at the list of books I just gave you. We can start a little book club together. We should. I think we should. Moving on from all my resolutions, some other things that I have done and I've been proud of. Just overall, despite some bad moments, because just particularly financially in this season of my life, it's just not great. It's just not great. Cosy Lives is really kicking my behind. But you know what? Such is life at the moment. We gotta keep positive and take what we can in the good moments. But despite that, I think I've had a very good first half of the year. I do still very much feel overwhelmed by the world and by the things I really want to achieve. And I just don't have enough hours in the day to do everything I wish I could. I literally wrote the script for this video at like midnight on a random Thursday. Okay, I'm running on coffee and good vibes. And some of the good things, I got to see my family twice this year. That is more than I usually get to see my family for, because typically I'll go for like a week during the year, or I'll go for a couple of weekends here or there. I needed to go twice this year, and despite the fact that I needed to be there, it's also time that I get to spend with my family, and that is always precious. Especially because I have a sister that's so much younger than me, and it's really quite sad to miss her growing up sometimes. And it was lovely to spend time with my dad and my sister like that. I've been enjoying time with friends, despite the fact that we're all absolutely skint. We have been enjoying each other's company. Me and my girls have been doing reading days on Saturdays every couple of months, where we'll just hang out and one of us will host, we'll take in turns hosting, and we'll have some breakfast or a lunch and maybe some wine, and we get our books and we read, or if we don't read because we happen to get distracted, we'll watch a movie together and just spend time together, which is always so precious. Moments like that, little moments like that, are just so important. I think that's where the best memories come from, not the big huge things. Yeah, they're amazing, but the little things, the peace and stability of everyday life, it's kind of great, and I kind of love it. And I've also have been prioritizing being mindful and exploring new hobbies. I did attempt crochet and need to attempt it again. I attempted it once and then I was like, I don't have the patience right now, and that's okay. We will come back to it another day. It does seem like it's maybe a cold weather activity, and that's okay. We'll return in the autumn. Now, some focuses for Q3. First of all, YouTube. I want to be very intentional with YouTube. I want to have like maybe a month or two, or even do it quarter by quarter. I do that for work. I don't know why I haven't thought to do it for here. I just want to be very intentional with it and stop kicking myself for not doing it, because I am my own worst enemy when it comes to that. I am, and I know it. I need to do a really good declutter. I really do. I have too many trinkets. There is too much crap just in general in this house, and it needs to be sorted. So that, at some point, I need to do this summer. It needs to happen. Also, this is really trivial, but have a really good 26th birthday. I really want to have just a chill, nice birthday. My birthday is in August. I've literally yesterday made the plans, and now, unfortunately, my birthday this year happens to be on a Wednesday. I no longer have any annual leave to take my usual week off for my birthday. So this is very highly devastating for me. However, I have made a plan to do something both weekends around it, and I'm just gonna get a takeaway and watch a good movie on my actual birthday on a Wednesday. And I'm satisfied with that. I'm satisfied with that. That's 26 for you, you know? Also, 26 is sounding a little bit too serious. I still don't know how I feel about it. 25 is like, you know, 25. 26 is literally the age my mother was when she gave birth to me, and that is kind of horrifying, because I'm out here dilly-dallying. My mother was a mother. Let's move on. Another thing I really want to do is catalogue all my books on my Notion. That is something we should do. And my recipes. So maybe that should also be a goal. I bought a really nice recipe binder in TK Maxx the other day. I say the other day, it was like last month. So maybe that should be next month. To catalog all my books on Notion and sort out all my recipes, both on Notion and in my book. This is pretty much all I have for this recap. In the future videos, if you have any ideas for any other sections that you think would be useful to add to this, I am very open to suggestions. Pop it down below. If you're new here and you'd like to see more videos from me, I would really love it if you'd subscribe, and while you're at it, click that bell button so you can get notified whenever I do post next. I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!